Hello everyone, and welcome back to Session 16 of Baldur's Gate 3 5th Edition. That's right, we've officially surpassed the number of episodes we had in Campaign 1 before we TPK'd, and now we can see what treasures and spoils there are for us, having defeated this owlbear, leaving the cub to feast on its mother's flesh. Let's take the party and gather everyone together again. There's some cracked eggs here and a small cliff, but nothing that I can see out of the ordinary here. Unless this rock wants to be moved with something hiding underneath it, or the game could crash. That would work too. Yeah, we're still in early access. Let's try that again. Alright, take two. I was just gonna have somebody, let's say Shadowheart, and just jump up this ridge just to see if there's any kind of rock that can be moved or anything of interest, because it's an oddly specific ledge to just have here. But no, it's just a ledge. Alright, back down we go. So, loot. Anything in this pile of bones? No. There is an owlbear egg. Pork loin. That'll be some good dinner. And that pork loin is the thing to tip Shadowheart over encumbered. There you go, Gale. Have a tasty snack. In fact, Gale, I know you can't see in the dark, but do some looting for us.
An owlbear egg? These are supposed to be worth a fortune.
Interesting. Headless skeleton. The Oak Father's Embrace. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, okay. The Oak Father's Embrace. Medium armor, 13. No proficiency, but that's fine. The wearer gains Order of Nature. Undead creatures that attack the wearer receive 1d6 radiant damage. Beasts that attack the wearer deal an additional 1d6 radiant damage. That is very interesting. Send that to Andrew a second. He's in his humanoid form, so he can accept treasures for his inventory. What's Andrew wearing? Light leather armor. So, medium armor will take our AC from 11 on armor to 13. We also have a shield. Currently, our AC calculation, 11 from armor, plus 2 from dex, plus 2 from armor class boost. So if we now equip this instead of that druid leather armor, our armor class is all the way up to 17. That's got to be the best of the lot, right? 14, 15 with magic, 17 here as well, and 17 for Andrew. So we're certainly going to utilize that, and just try and keep in mind that beasts that attack us will deal additional damage to us, but will also deal an extra, will reflect a d6 of damage against any undead that attack us. So if we're getting absolutely destroyed by beasts in a given fight later, we must remember that's why. Anything else in these bones? Just actual bones. Okay, and the owlbear itself. Astarion, you're the one with remotely the most health. See if you can't search this body for items without triggering the bear cup. Head of a broken spear. Sure. Do we have the shaft of a broken spear from some time ago? Or am I making that up? I could be here forever looking, couldn't I? Well, if we do have it, it's not jumping out at me. Might have sold it already. The Owlbear Club prompts a conversation. Andrew is out of wild shapes and out of spell slots to cast Speak with Animals, which is a shame. We can recast Speak with Dead, but that's not going to work on the owlbear. I think that's the lot from this cave. So I'll take this short sword as it's, again, something we can sell. And then take our leave. I will just double check the top side here. Backpack. Potion of healing is wonderful. A couple of extra gold as well. So apart from looting this cave, my basic plan for right now is to go back to the Druid's Grove, sell off heaps of the extra stuff we have to any traders that we can find. Is Andrew too short and or too weak to make this jump? Oh no, there was a spot there. There was. Good. Everybody else going to make it without issue? Gale? Good job. Yes, go to the Druid's Grove, sell off everything we can, and then take our first long rest of the game and see what happens. Hopefully not immediately a total party kill in whatever counter we have next. I thought there was a way out up here. I guess it might have been removed or patched. Alright, I won't make you watch me do the return trip. I'll just get out into the open of the cave and we'll carry on our tale. So we've made it back out to the other side of the river from the cave entrance. Astarion's taken a little more damage from the running water, but not enough to get him to go down in running water, which I can imagine would be a much bigger problem. So it's just along the way here, past this hidden cave mouth, which we exited from previously. That was the cave full of stone statues that were trying to shoot us with firebolts and other magics. And just here we have still the mess of the fight outside.
This gate is a long one. It'll take these folks weeks to make it there on foot.
If they make it. They're slow, vulnerable. Half or more will die long before Basilisk Gate.
Well, that's cheery. But yes, the
For me to be troubled. We can't save them all.
the bodies from our original encounter are out front is what I was going to say. Did we decide who had the best charisma for trading? We have a 10, 12, 14, and 13. So, Shadowheart, you're doing the trading. Let's see what Aaron has.
Need anything else?
I'd like to see your
Of
wares.
course. But please, remember, you're not the only one in need.
Okay, so primarily we're looking for stuff to sell, but if there's stuff to buy, I will not complain. Let's get rid of a bunch of these extra weapons. Scale mail armor we don't need any longer. It's one extra AC, but I don't want the disadvantage on the stealth rolls. We'll keep her circlet, that's hers to own and wear. We'll keep the plants, the potions. So that's actually everything Shadowheart has. Well, let's just do it this way because I'm too lazy to min-max the settings. Extra armor, extra short bows. I guess we're never going to wear this again. A pair of boots. We want the water. We don't need this simple robe. We want the tools, we want the potions, we want the food. Oh, you can have a wine. I'm not going to have need for wine or rum. Take a torch. Good. Gale, you were being a pack horse for us, weren't you? You're going to have to start bartering, I think. We want the water. I don't want a heavy stone. I can sell that quite happily. I'm going to hold on to the owlbear egg for now. So he no longer has enough gold to cover our purchases, so what do we want? Did we take Scroll of Flaming Sphere when we leveled up? I don't think we did. We took Featherfall and something else? I'm worried if I press K for my skill screen, this is going to go away. No, it's just not going to let me look at all. Right.
Sylvanus be with you.
Yes, yes. Gale. Second level spells. We took Shatter, of course we did. Alright. So in that case... Yes, I do.
Of course. But please, remember.
We're not the only ones in need. Gale. Sell all this stuff again. That seems to be all of it. And how much is this Scroll of Flaming Sphere? 480. I think we can stretch to that. Any other scrolls we're really desperate for? The Scrolls of Guiding Bolt would be good for Shadowheart, but we have greater purposes for this Scroll of Flaming Sphere here. Barter. Trade, and then it was just Astarion left, wasn't it? Oh yeah, look at all these blades. Can never have enough blades, apparently. I should be using the wares tool far more, but it's fine. I'm going to keep these stones because we've got so many of them. There must be somewhere better for selling. Plates can go, though. Okay, what else did we want? We don't want Rainbreaker because that breaks the game. Dragon's Grasp applies burning on hit, 1d6 slashes, light but not finesse, so not for right now. Potions of healing will be fine if we can't find anything else to utilize. Specialist arrows don't excite me that much. Alright, let's get these. That's only 75 gold. I'll take an arrow of lightning only because it electrifies bodies of water that may be useful later as well. Barter. Trade. I think that should... Oh, we can get rid of these. Any more? For any more? We want the books. We want the grease. The precious... Very precious stones will do later. Alright, that's enough of that.
Sylvanus be with you.
So, back to that scroll we just acquired. Who's talking? Not us. Gale is a wizard. Wizards know their spells through the possession of a spell book. So, cantrips are minor spells that all spellcasters know. They are able to cast them at any time because they are kind of perpetually stored within the mind. Whereas a wizard, you'll see in Gale's spellbook, he knows the spell Fog Cloud. He just hasn't prepared it this day. So wizards can add more spells to their spellbooks if they have a scroll that they can transcribe into the spellbook, allowing them to have that spell on subsequent days after they've long rested and choose new spells. So, when Gale is in possession of a scroll that... Who purchased it? One of us did. He did. This Scroll of Flaming Sphere. It is a wizard spell. So by rule 6, classes can cast class spells only. Flaming Sphere is a wizard spell that he can learn. And if we right-click it, we get this option that we don't see for other classes. Learn spell, 100 gold. So this 100 gold represents the extra magical inks and time spent transcribing this spell into his spellbook. So if we do that now, it takes 100 gold from our party's inventory, and now in his wizard spellbook we can see here Flaming Sphere. So we can now prepare this spell after a long rest, which we should hopefully take shortly, and we will be able to cast that spell at our own desire. Is there anything else we desperately want to do while we're here in the Druid's Grove? I know there's several other conversations and encounters to have, but we've already gone 15 minutes. We've done the selling that I wanted to do, so we will leave town as a unit, and we need to find a rune circle in order to get back to camp, because rule number 3, no fast travel, and rune circles are required to travel to camp. So we cannot simply click this button in the top right, go to camp and end the day. We must find a rune circle to enable us to do that. And
Do you have someone waiting for you in
there's one out here on the cliffs, I think. There it is.
Not one in particular. The city is a veritable feast of sweethearts.
You done with your conversation, guys?
You must be eager to get back then. Slimmer pickings out in this wilderness.
So this is just a little bit of minutia. If we click the rune circle, we get a selection of locations that we've discovered that we can teleport to. We won't be using this as a fast travel system, just per rule number 3, but we can teleport to camp here. But that will teleport us to camp, but not begin the option for a long rest. So in order to do that, we've reached a rune circle, and now we can click go to camp and end the day. And so this will be our first long rest.
This seems as good a place as any to make camp.
So before we click on our bedroll and formally take that long rest, we can explore the rest of camp. There's several crates. Oh, there's a free water barrel over here. I did not know that. So Shadowheart would like to have a conversation with us. You can see Lae'zel from earlier in the campaign is chilling out here nice and quietly. The boys are having a nice read. So I'm not going to go tracing through every trunk and crate, but I will come over to this one. And into it... if I can... There we go. I'm going to put into this crate all of the party's food and water, because we will require water for long rests as well as a good meal. Per rule number 2, food and water are required to long rest. But this stuff is heavy, and since we will only ever be long resting at camp, we can decant much of our food and water here, because food does not heal out in the field under my rule set. So we will move a bunch of this stuff into these crates. And I'll jump cut here and get this bit of life admin done, and then be back with you to explain the long rest formally. Okay, we have everything into this seemingly endless chest. And so, long resting. In tabletop Dungeons & Dragons, you need 8 hours to do a long rest for most races. 6 of those hours must be sleeping, and 2 of them can be spent doing light activity such as sitting watch, tending to the campfire, and so on. However, even if you have a good 8-hour sleep, you do not gain the benefits of a long rest, such as recovering hit points, recovering hit dice, regaining spell slots and other such skills if you do not consume an appropriate amount of food and water. And as such, for my party to be able to recover all of those things when they take their long rest, they must have an appropriate amount of food and water. So 1 water barrel is enough water for a full party to take a long rest, or 4 bottles of water are enough for a full party to take a full rest. So you can't drink a barrel of water, but what we can do is, if we have Andrew take this, and then enough food that would represent a meal for 4 people. So I think a grilled pork belly, some potatoes. I don't think we need 8 potatoes. A couple of carrots. And how about this spoiled treacle tart? So it's not the best meal in the world, but I think this represents a sufficient amount of food for an adventuring party for a day. And so we can come out of this, come out of that. So this wooden trunk is our chest and water store. The food we can just eat. So this will heal Andrew, but we're about to long rest anyway, which would be a full heal. So that negates that problem. And then the water barrel we can simply drop on the ground. I said drop on the ground. I said drop on the ground. Okay, it's not going to let me drop this water barrel on the ground, is it? Throw. There you go. That's what I was working towards. The destruction of the barrel of water means that, hypothetically in my mind, the party has now consumed that water. So we can long rest, and to do so we simply lay on one of these mats. But before we do that, let's take this opportunity to just have a quick word with Shadowheart, since she's prompting us for a discussion.
Finally, some good fortune. Come morning, we know what to do. The sooner we find this priestess gut, the better. Can't wait to get rid of this thing in my head.
How are you feeling?
The same. These parasites are proving suspiciously benign. But suppose I turn. What would you do?
No hesitations. You're a mind flayer now.
A firm answer. I'd do the same. We'll need that kind of thinking to make it through all this. You're doing well. It's a beautiful night. I think I'll stay up to enjoy it while I still can. Rest well.
Is that flirting? Is Andrew going to get lucky? Okay. Right, very quickly. Let's just see if anything happens to have been abandoned here that's of any use to us. Free gold is, as I like to call it, free gold. A bucket, another bedroll. A map of the Sword Coast. Tatty edges. No hidden scrolls hiding in the pages of these books. No. Nothing there. And this is our food store. So let's take our long rest. Yes, I would like to go to bed. And there we are. Apparently no issues during the night, no problems befalling us. And as you can see, all 4 members of the party are now at full health. We have our wild shapes back. We have our natural recovery charge back, as well as all of our spell slots. Before I forget, the only thing I want to do now before we end the episode is we have an opportunity, I believe, to swap spells for our characters. Because it doesn't prompt me otherwise. I'm assuming we can do it right now before we kick off. So, is there anything that we would like to change? Gale. We still only have 2 level 2 spell slots. I would like to have Featherfall prepared. So I think we can take off Sleep as Astarion has it. And yes, you can see I'm now currently able to change my allocated spells. I believe the game doesn't let you do this during the middle of play. It's just because we've long rested. But in tabletop, you would get to re-change all your selected spells for prepared casters and when you take a long rest. So that's Gale with his spellbook, or the cleric and druid who just have a pool of spells available to them from their respective deities of one kind or another. Other spells we want to change, stuff we're not using, stuff we would like to have. Gonna keep Aid, that's basically a cure wounds but for everybody. Prayer of Healing even, not Aid. This is Aid. Bless, Charm Person, Disguise Self. I'm fairly happy with things as it goes. Don't need Jump, don't need Long Strider. Animal Friendship we don't need, we have Speak with Animals, that should be fine. Let's lose level 2 Entangle. And let's take something else today. Let's take Heat Metal. Cause a metal weapon that you can see to glow red hot. The creature holding the weapon takes 2d8 fire damage and receives disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of your next turn. You can use a bonus action on subsequent turns to deal another 2d8 fire damage and impose disadvantage for another turn. So if we can keep doing that, we can also use our main action each subsequent turn to attack with a weapon and such. So that's very good. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy. And with that, we will call that session 16. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Hopefully, now that we've fully rested, we don't go charging into an encounter that defeats us immediately, as per campaign 1. But stay tuned to find out in the next one. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please consider subscribing or pressing the like button for me, just so that I know people are out there watching. It really does make my day. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.